You are now behind enemy lines. I'm trying different cadences for every show just to see how it works out. Hey there, how you doing, everybody? Gene Berardelli, Ross Galloway here. What's going on, my man?
Instead of different cadences, you should do what our buddy Rick does and come in like Kermit the Frog on the next episode.
Hi ho, you are now behind enemy. You do it differently. You are now behind enemy lines. Something like that. I don't know. I'm just messing with things because, frankly, pal, as we go through our first 5 minutes of bullshit before we really get into things, and as we allow people to gather with us here, I'm in a fighting mood. I've been online quite a bit, watching what's going on in the People's Republic of New York City. I've been watching these morons out there crying their eyes out about renovations to the White House. Meanwhile, the government's still shut down because of Democrats. And people are losing their ever-loving minds over no kings. And, thank God, no kings since 1776. It's just the world is polluted with so many freaking buffoons.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was going to say, I got distracted by Rick. That was a dynamite drop-in.
There you go. I had to put it on the screen. Look, even my sister's on my side on this. Holy crap, we never agree on anything. Hey, Linda, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Make sure you like. Make sure if you haven't already subscribed. I'm sure she's subscribed. I'm hoping she's subscribed. But like, comment, share the show with your friends. All that really, really good stuff. I'm going to be talking about my vendetta against Andrew Cuomo, how Curtis Sliwa should hold the line, and a bunch of other topics here. But I am in a rare mood where I might be the one who's unhinged. Maybe I'm the one that gets the show canceled this week. I don't know.
Here's my suggestion, Gene, to all of our friends in New York City. I know we're going to get into this, but let me just start with this. I think you should write in George Santos for mayor. If we get enough of you guys, he's free now, Gene.
Excuse me, I have to remove somebody. Give me a second here. Yes, hold that thought. Are you freaking kidding me? We are not going there. All right, now you're allowed back.
All right. Write in George Santos, people. Give him something. You guys have no other options. What, Gene, honestly, out of that cast of characters, could George Santos be worse than any of them?
Yes, absolutely. Hey, our friend Christy chimes in. What did the White House and men who wear skinny jeans have in common? No ballroom. I like that. People, I've never seen so much consternation over renovating an 80-year-old garage. Basically, is what they're doing. It's a carport. Is what they're removing.
Yeah, and what's funny about that, Gene, is like he has private donors to pick up the whole tab. So I don't really understand what the beef is here.
Absolutely. Oh, boy. All right. So we're getting people in here. I'm glad to see wherever you are, whether it be on YouTube, on Rumble, on X. I'm glad you're here with us. Give us a shout in the chat room. If you can, I'll be monitoring all three as best I can. I do get the YouTube chats mostly in the chat here on StreamYard. And I guess I should do a grift early because this segment of the show, the first segment we're about to be doing, is sponsored by shop.buffoonoftheweek.com. Come pick up your official Cuomo for Jail t-shirt. It's available right now. All you got to do, folks, is you see that QR code in the upper left-hand corner of the screen? You can scan that with your phone. Look for the link for shop.buffoonoftheweek.com and look for the Cuomo shirt. It's available right now from small to 3XL. Pick it up today. This will not be the last time you see this image on your screen. Pick up the shirt. Send a message to the people out there.
You do know Cuomo was a Democrat most of his life, right?
Most of his life? Or all of his life?
All right, I just want to make sure because you have a shirt saying Cuomo for jail. I thought you only like Republicans going to jail. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, no. Oh, screw you. When Republicans commit crimes, they should go to jail. When Democrats commit crimes, they should go to jail. Oh, I'm reading the chat right now. You having fun with Rick? saying that Rick is wearing skinny jeans after that joke, and Rick saying, no, he's team no pants. Oh, good Lord. President and founding member. That's the Cy Sperling joke that only us old people will get. Oh.
Us old and bald people.
Right here, right? So, for those of you who've been following the goings-on in the People's Republic of New York, all the betting markets have Mamdani having this election in a chokehold. Sorry, Eric Garner. But this race is basically over. The polling out there may tell you that, well, if Sliwa leaves, Cuomo's got a shot. If Cuomo leaves, Sliwa may not have a shot, and all these permutations out there. Let's be real. The socialists and the freaky losing wackadoos have come out and are continuing to come out strong from Mamdani. That's a political reality that every Democrat needs to own because it's their fault. They didn't stop him in the Democratic primary. They didn't come out for Cuomo then. The energy was on the side of Mamdani, and that's all there is, and that's all there needs to be at this point. It's a Democrat city. Across the city, it's 5 Democrats to every 1 Republican. Yet, people are going around saying if Curtis Sliwa doesn't withdraw from the race, it's going to be his fault if Mamdani wins. Are you freaking kidding me, man? Explain that one to me. Somebody. Ross, I guess maybe you can try to.
No, and there is no explanation, right? First of all, and Gene can articulate the law on this, there really is no mechanism to drop out of a race in New York. Eric Adams, quote unquote, dropped out of the race. Eric Adams' name will still be on the ballot when these people go to vote. Just like, correct me if I'm wrong, is if you die or get appointed to a judgeship.
Right. Once you're on the ballot, you're on the ballot. Especially when you have those third-party lines as well that you could have gotten rid of your third-party line right after the primary. And you could have gotten rid of that. Let me show you guys exactly what Galloway is talking about here. I actually found this image online. I posted it to my X account. Let me see if I can share the screen here. This is what the ballot for mayor will look like. In fact, this is the ballot for mayor and what it looks like because these ballots have gone out to our servicemen and women already. Mamdani's got the Dem line. Sliwa's on the Republican line. Mamdani is also on the working families line. There's someone named Irina Estrada running on the conservative line that will eat into Curtis Sliwa's margins. Curtis created his own line called Protect Animals because he loves the kitty cats. Eric Adams is still there. Cuomo's there in the second row. Jim Walden is still there, even though he's out of the race and just stopped campaigning. When these people tell you that people should drop out of the race, that doesn't mean that your line gets magically erased from the ballot. Ballots have been printed. This is what's circulating. You can't stop this machine from moving. So what does Curtis Sliwa have to lose here by staying on the line, Galloway? Nothing.
Yeah, and there's 2 things here. First of all, it's not up to Republicans in New York City, all 5 of them that are still there. It's not up to them to save New York City or to help the Democratic Party out of this mess. That's number 1. And number 2, as a recovering New York City Republican, former Republican in New York City, I know there is no way in hell I would ever vote for Andrew Cuomo, even if he was the only person on the ballot, right? So that's just never going to happen. I don't know of anyone, especially in Staten Island or the Republican parts of Queens, that went through Governor Cuomo's tyrannical governorship that would vote for him for mayor, a Republican. No way.
Absolutely no way. Yet he thinks that he's going to win them over. And we'll get to that in a little bit, and we do have some clips on that. I'm still trying to wrap my head around these people out there, and let's call it what it is, moneyed interests in New York that want Sliwa to get out of the way in order to quote-unquote save New York. Where were all these moneyed interests during primary season? Where were the John Catsimatidis? And full disclosure, we worked for John Catsimatidis when he ran for mayor. literally got paid by him to help him win, delivered Brooklyn in the Republican primary for him. Yet now, this same person that wanted to be the Republican nominee for mayor, over a decade ago, has been playing both sides against the middle. He has moneyed interests and has a vested financial interest in the People's Republic of New York City, and therefore his allegiance is always up for grabs, and rightly so. Whoever makes the best deal for him will be the guy he backs. That's what's going to end up happening. Bill Ackman doesn't live in the People's Republic of New York City, but he has financial interests in the People's Republic of New York City. And all of a sudden, he's woken up at the last minute at the 11th hour telling Curtis Sliwa what he should do, what he needs to do, and what he wants him to do. It's all about them and not about who's going to run the city, who's going to win the race, who's going to actually do what they say they're going to do. Of the three candidates, Galloway, which one would you call the most, quote-unquote, independent between the three major ones that we've been seeing?
Ironically, the most independent candidate on that stage of clowns is actually Curtis Sliwa. Curtis Sliwa is not a real Republican. Curtis Sliwa hates Donald Trump. Curtis Sliwa is like a pro-choice kind of guy. He has very few conservative Republican beliefs, right? It astonished me the other day. I'm watching Katzimatidis on Fox News, and he's telling people a lie, okay? I liked Katzimatidis, but he's telling people that Donald Trump explicitly said to go out and vote for Andrew Cuomo. Now, Donald Trump did not say that, okay? I know he would not say to go out and support Curtis Sliwa either, because Curtis Sliwa hates Donald Trump and said lots of terrible things about him. And now Curtis is on Fox News every night, kissing the ring to Donald Trump. Too late, Curtis. Like, you are a man with no home. Andrew Cuomo is a man with no home. And Cuomo got eaten alive because he's a straight white male. He got eaten by the far left radical woke mob. And I love every minute of this. Go Zoran. I hope he wins big, and I hope New York City is like Sodom and Gomorrah, Gene. Do not turn back and look, because you will turn into a pillar of salt, my man.
No, and I get what you're saying. I don't want Mamdani to win. I want Curtis Sliwa to win. And if people voted their values, Curtis Sliwa would have a chance here. If they ignored party labels, he would have a chance here. These people are willing to play ball. Their morals, their values are malleable to the moment. You brought up what Donald Trump said about Curtis Sliwa, and people are going around saying, and I'm going to give you a perfect example of it after I pull it up here on X, of what Trump said. Give me 1 second here. Let me pull this up. Button, who's got the button? Please stand by. I wish I had hold music. Let's share this screen here. This is someone I've been going back and forth with, who is claiming that Trump said that Sliwa, let me make this bigger and biggin it. You tell me where Trump says Curtis Sliwa should drop out. Listen to this clip.
If he dropped out, he's not going to win, and not looking too good for Cuomo either. But maybe, I don't know, if he dropped out, maybe Cuomo would have a little bit of a chance, but not much, because it looks like the lead is. It's not a great lead, but it's big enough that he should be able to win. So, I don't know that I want to get involved. It's really a question of, would I rather have a Democrat or a communist? And I would rather have a Democrat than a communist.
Will you meet with Mamdani?
So, at no point does he say that Sliwa must drop out. He actually said, I'm not getting involved.
Gene, I also think it's a backhanded, it's basically it's not a compliment. It's a slap at Curtis. I think he's throwing Curtis into the Democrat mix, that he's also a Democrat when it comes right down to it. He didn't tell Curtis to drop out. He's not saying to vote for Cuomo. He said he'd rather have a Democrat than a communist. Unfortunately, there's not too many non-communist Democrats left. In this case, I think Cuomo is damn near communist now, too. He's just not Muslim, and maybe that's why people are so upset about it. But Cuomo and Mamdani will not be that different. Show me where you think they'll be different, Gene.
Actually, I can give you a better example of where they aren't different. There were tweets going out from Mamdani's camp and Cuomo's camp in response to the ICE crackdown on Canal Street. If you look at these tweets next to each other, they're almost the same word for word. I'm vamping right now to pull them up to see if I can find them here. Otherwise, it's kind of dead air. Oh no. But both of them basically said we are a nation of immigrants and blah, blah, blah. And, of course, they're defending the poor, downtrodden immigrants out there who are selling illegal goods on Canal Street. All the fake bags and all that stuff that you see out there. I'll see. I'm going to keep on looking for these tweets, but go ahead, pal.
And I did see the tweet, so if you find them, that'll be great. But they both are against the ICE raids on Canal Street. And you got morons like Jumanji Williams, or whatever the hell his name is, saying that these were targeted against African migrants. Listen, dude, there's not a bunch of white illegal immigrants here, and they're getting them too, by the way, right? In this case, every one of those African illegals had a prior criminal history other than immigration violations. Most of them were already ordered to be removed by federal judges, right? So they're doing their jobs. But Cuomo and Mamdani both were anti-ICE. Don't forget, Cuomo is the no cash bail guy. He's the no death penalty guy. He's anti-ICE. He was a COVID mandate guy. There's very little difference between him and your average communist Democrat anywhere else.
Yeah, I found the two tweets, so I'm going to go put them up right now as soon as I got to really lock in here. I'm not doing great with sharing stuff right now. Okay, so stop screen share. Now let's do the screen share. Share the screen share. Here we go. So, first, Mamdani. Federal agents from ICE and Homeland Security summoned military fatigues and masks. Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd. Descended on Chinatown. Descended like locusts on Chinatown. In an aggressive and reckless raid on immigrant street vendors. Once again, the Trump administration chooses authoritarian theatrics that create fear, not safety. It must stop. And then you got Andrew Cuomo, who says that he's not the Democrat socialist. He's not the socialist here. This is not who we are, and it will never be NYC when I am mayor. The Statue of Liberty stands in our harbor not as a decoration, but as a declaration of our values. Today's ICE raid in Chinatown was an abuse of power by the Trump administration. More about fear than justice, more about politics than safety. New York was built by immigrants, and we will not be bullied into betraying who we are. It's the same scriptwriter. Fear, safety, stop it, Trump. And yet, this is supposed to be two different candidates that are against each other. They're both reading from the same hymnal. It's the same script.
The same hymnal. That is terrific. Yeah. So first of all, and I've mentioned this a few times about Cuomo because we bash him quite regularly on the show. I don't know if you remember, Gene, when Andrew Cuomo, son of Mario Face Brute Cuomo, as Curtis likes to call him, when Andrew Cuomo first hit the scene, he was a moderate Democrat, or at least he acted like one. He barely ever came on TV. He barely ever took a controversial stance on an issue. When COVID happened, this man lost his mind. Right around that time, or slightly before COVID, the Democrats also gained supermajority in the Assembly and in the Senate in the state, right? So the reason why I brought that up is not only did he go hard left, at the end of the day, at both the city and the state level, and I argued this with Obi when he was on the show, it really won't matter what figurehead you put in City Hall, right? There are, 51 city council seats. I think 46 of them are Democrats. And out of those 46 Democrats, probably 40 of them are communists, right? They have a veto-proof majority in the city council. So whether Curtis wins, Mamdani, or Cuomo, it's not going to matter. The city council rules parliamentary style there. It doesn't matter what the mayor says or does. It really don't.
I tend to agree with that, and that would be the challenge for a Curtis Sliwa going into Gracie Mansion. I do have to say, though, I have been impressed with Curtis Sliwa's answers concerning why he isn't dropping out. I want to play this clip from the Nate Friedman show. Nate Friedman, a up-and-coming independent journalist, happened to run into Curtis Sliwa in the subway and got him to sit down for an interview just based on happenstance and meeting him there. This is maybe the best answer that Curtis Sliwa could have given to the question of why aren't you dropping out?
I think it is clear to New Yorkers who are against Mamdani that you and Cuomo are splitting the anti-Mamdani vote. So my question is simple. Are you okay if Mamdani wins that you, so to speak, contributed to that?
Well, number one, Ackman is a jerk. Has he been right yet? Here's a guy who goes up to Newport, Rhode Island and thinks he's a professional tennis player. Come on, Ackman. Stay in your lane. Does he know anything about politics? No. Does he live in New York City? No. He lives in Chapakua, the whitest suburb of America, where even the lawn jockeys are white. He may know Wall Street. He may know hedge funds. He has been wrong every step of the way with the billionaires. So let's say people come to the conclusion, if somehow I lose, and we know Andrew Cuomo's lost, he's already tossed in the town. Oh, it's because of you, Curtis. Really? It's because of the Democrats. Wait a second. Who created Zohran Mamdani? Who embraced him? Who nourished him? Who supported him? And how dare you, people who know nothing about politics, suggest that everybody who's going to vote for me is suddenly going to be reborn? We love Andrew Cuomo. He killed all these elderly. He's a sexual harasser. He told conservatives and Republicans in 2014, if you're conservative and you believe in right to life, and the Second Amendment, you have no place in New York. You need to leave. This is the result of the Democrat self-destruction. So I'm supposed to help them? How come they don't help themselves? Andrew Cuomo failed everybody in that primary. He even admitted it. Now he's basically saying, I can't win without Sliwa votes. Where are your votes? Why don't you spend your money and he's got millions from the billionaires? Millions. Go out, get your own votes. Convert Sliwa voters. But for me to drop out, I represent a major party line. I have people running under me, council people, judges. They put their heart and soul into it. They support me. I have more donations than Andrew Cuomo does matching funds. So you know something? This is called voting. Sure. Since when do we not let people vote? Billionaires determine the next mayor? If they don't like it, they can leave. They have options. Blue-collar working class people don't. Those are the people I'm representing, not Andrew Cuomo. Sure.
10 out of 10, no notes. Pretty damn good answer.
I can't argue with it, right? If that Curtis Sliwa is the one that we all grew up with, like, first of all, I love Curtis Sliwa on the radio. He's a very colorful character. I love the stuff he's done in New York with the Guardian Angels. He's just a great guy all around. But he took such a hardline stance against Donald Trump and MAGA that there's no way a person like me could ever forgive that. Right now, I can't support him. But
Fair.
What he said is 100% right. First of all, I forgot what the ratio is in New York City, but it's something like 9 Democrats to every 1 Republican or something ridiculous.
Citywide, because you got to count Staten Island, it's 5-1.
5-1 citywide. Okay.
But in places like the Bronx, it's more like 13-1. In Brooklyn, it's more like 8-1. In Manhattan, it's more like 6 or 7-1. So yeah.
Let's say it's 5-1, right? Cuomo had his bite at the apple. He ran in a Democratic primary and lost, right? Now he's running as an independent. Curtis Sliwa, if it's 5-1, should get somewhere around 15% of the vote at the end of this, right? 15-20% max. Okay, so why should the Republican candidate drop out of the race to give Andrew Cuomo a second chance? He lost his party's primary. If anyone should drop out to save New York City, it should be Andrew Cuomo and try to convince people to vote for the Republican ticket to take out the communist. That is real democracy, not what they're trying to pull here. Who is the threat to democracy? Which side? This is crazy.
You know, I'm of the opinion of fuck it. No one should have resigned. Everyone should have been in it. Everybody should have gotten this. Every one of those minor candidates should be on that debate stage tonight as that's going on as we're taping this show. Every one of them earned their place on the ballot. Who's to say who should drop out, who can't win, who can't lose? If you are a person of conviction and you believe what you're running for is right and true and just, stay on the ballot. Let the people decide. Crazier things have happened. Listen, we've worked in the People's Republic of New York City on elections for Republicans. We've seen Republicans catch lightning in a bottle during an election and win in some of the bluest areas of the city. And we were part of those races, and we see that it can be done. If you have a good message, if you have a good wedge issue to talk about, if you're able to expose the flaws and beat the narrative of the other side before they create their narrative about you, it can be done, especially against an accused sexual predator whose policies during COVID resulted in the unnecessary passing of over 15,000 seniors, like that piece of shit Andrew Cuomo, like a socialist who wants to basically get rid of misdemeanors, wants to create government grocery stores like Zoran Mamdani. It all sounds great until the bill comes due. Curtis Sliwa should have a chance in this, but it's because of the pride and the hubris of Andrew Cuomo, who already got his ass handed to him after blowing a 40-point lead. Let me say that again. A 40-point lead he blew in the primary. He decides to come back and ruin it for the entirety of the People's Republic of New York City. But then again, and I want to bring this up to you, pal, before we get to more clips, why not just let the People's Republic of New York City vote their conscience? If the people want Mamdani, who is Curtis Sliwa or Andrew Cuomo or anybody else to stop them from destroying themselves?
Let me just jump in for 1 second before we go to another clip. Let me tell you why they're so worried, Gene. The Democrat Party is terrified of what's happening here. You remember during first of all, the primaries in New York City are ranked choice voting, where candidates, like, they keep tallying the votes till one gets more than 50%, but that's not true in the general election, right? So that's another weird little New Yorkism there. But put that aside. What they're worried about, Gene, and they're terrified of this, trust me when I tell you. Remember during the primary in New York City, they were saying, well, a guy like Mamdani can win because primary elections are the base of the party and it's always low turnout. So your most extreme people come out and vote. So you'll get a super liberal, maybe a socialist or a communist to win the Democratic primary, right? So Cuomo believed that too. He believed that his party is still somewhat sane, or at least a good chunk of them are. So he decided to run as an independent after he lost the Democratic primary. Lo and behold, he found out that it wasn't just a small sampling of his party in that primary that are communist and socialist. That is the Democratic Party. It's not just the far left base. It's the majority of their party. That's why Zoran is running away with this thing. He can't be stopped because the vast majority of Democratic voters in New York City and in other places are fucking communists.
And I'll do you one better, pal. Zoran Mamdani expanded that base. A Fox News poll came out saying that Zoran Mamdani is projected to get close to 40%, 38% of the Jewish vote in the People's Republic of New York City. That's mind-boggling. That is a party that has been co-opted by its fringe. When you have 38% of the Jewish vote going to Mamdani, Democrats have to be wondering, what the fuck did we do? What the fuck did we create? They fed this beast. They nurtured this beast, like Curtis Sliwa was saying. And then the best they could do to try to stop him is this irredeemable buffoon Cuomo, who's not qualified to be dog catcher anymore because, and again, I'm going to keep saying it, accused sexual predator, responsible for his policies are responsible for the deaths of over 15,000 seniors. We've talked about it ad nauseum here on the show throughout the year. We've had guests on the show who, one of which is currently at this debate, watching to sit there to show that Andrew Cuomo, well, you know what? I'm going to have Curtis Sliwa make the point here. I don't know if you saw this clip before, but take a look at this.
Adams is damaged goods. Every day, a new case of corruption in the police department. They believe he's corrupt. Andrew Cuomo is a creep, slapping fannies and killing grannies. Andrew Cuomo is a creep, slapping fannies and killing grannies. Andrew Cuomo is a creep, slapping fannies and killing grannies.
I mean, I was going to put that on a shirt, but I don't think we can put the word killing on a shirt. But that's what he is.
Brilliant. Yeah,
and yet he thinks that he's the one to save New York. But to save New York, pal, and I got to get to this clip as well. To save New York, he now needs Republicans and conservatives. The same people he said back in 2014 that have no place in the state of New York. Oh, how he changed his tune on Fox News, of all places.
New Yorkers, we're all New Yorkers. And this is about the future of New York and saving New York City. And the only alternative is Zoran Mamdani. Curtis Sliwa is not an alternative. He is not a viable candidate. You vote for Curtis, you may as well vote for Zoran Mamdani directly. And if this city becomes a Zoran Mamdani city, a socialist city, it's going to be the death of New York as we know it, whether you're a Democrat or Republican.
And who would be responsible for that death? Who would be the unaliver, the murderer of the People's Republic of New York City? It's not Curtis Sliwa. It would be Andrew Cuomo and the Democrats, the quote-unquote Democrats in the People's Republic of New York City. Go ahead. I'm worked up. I need a minute.
No, I love it. I would love to get a Democrat on our show, right? Because I think I would like to hear them, right? Because you said like who's responsible, and you know, I want to hear one of them explain how they got themselves to where we are today, right? First of all, you have to explain Eric Adams, right? Somehow Eric Adams, a below average police officer that probably got promoted up through the ranks through DEI, can barely string two sentences together without sounding like a moron, became the mayor of the richest, biggest city in the country, right?
And then
somehow that guy
go back even further now.
Well, I want to start with him for a second because where it led to here, and then you can jump on for a sec. You got Eric Adams. You have to explain him. Then you have to explain how a guy like Mamdani rises through the ranks, a junior assemblyman with no real job experience, is blowing out everyone else in the Democratic primary. He's a communist and a socialist. Then you have to also explain how your great white hope to take down Zoran is disgraced former governor Andrew Cuomo. I need a Democrat to come on here and explain in a city that is 5-1 Democrat how that situation came to be. I just want to know how we got here.
You know what? It could all start back with Warren Wilhelm Bill de Blasio, the first socialist mayor in the People's Republic of New York City. And by the way, did you die? You didn't die. You know, you got to start there. How everyone decided to vote for Warren Wilhelm because all of a sudden he started putting out there how he had an African-American wife, an African-American daughter, mixed race kids, and all this stuff, how he honeymooned in Havana or in the Soviet Union, whichever one it was, one of those. Coffee Grinder out there saying we need to get Mamdani on the show. I do have connections that I could ask, but it ain't going to happen. It's never going to happen. Get the top. Oh, this is Coffee Grinder as well. Get the top dog Jewish rabbi on your show and ask him what is going on. By the way, I believe that rabbi came out for Cuomo recently, so hoping to cut into that margin of 38% of Jewish voters voting for Mamdani. It's a world gone mad. And then you have these irredeemable people. I keep calling them that because that's the best word I can use to describe them now without cursing. But then you have, like I said, the moneyed interest out there with their own microphones saying things like what Bill Ackman was saying about he needs to get out of the race, John Catsimatidis saying he needs to get out of the race, and places like John Catsimatidis' WABC radio saying stuff like this. I'm going to try to put this as loud as I can, but pal, let's not talk over this clip at all. This is from, I believe, the mid-drive. This might be Dominic Carter. I can't exactly tell who it is, but this is on the airwaves of WABC, the station that employs Curtis Sliwa. This is his people talking about him.
Curtis, this is not some skit on the radio. You're messing with the big dogs now, and they're going to squash you like a bug. These people that call up here, oh, Curtis shouldn't drop out. I got to be straight with you, Curtis. They don't have your best interests at heart. What's going to happen to you and your family the day after the election when you have the President of the United States as an enemy? Who are you going to be able to turn to? This is a game of top dogs. And frankly, this is a game over your head. You can't win, no matter how you slice this. You are not going to be the mayor of New York. You may get destroyed tonight if you go after Cuomo, and he's going to talk about financial irregularities at the Guardian Angels. You can't win, Curtis. Do the right thing, man. You can still save face. Don't let ego get in the way, Curtis. You're listening to these people calling, oh, Curtis, stay in the race to the end. You are about to commit career suicide if you stay in this race to the end, and you will be a spoiler for the rest of your natural life, having thrown everything away to save face, to stay in a race for people that don't really have your back. And that's the truth, man, brother to brother. I'm being real with you, Curtis. Get out. You can still save face. You can still do it, but you have got to do it soon. Cut a deal with the White House, whoever you got to cut a deal with, to look out for your family. Let's go back to the telephone.
That's a threat in my neighborhood. That's threatening him. That's threatening his livelihood, threatening his family. And these are supposed to be his friends? Get the fuck out of here. It's not only fear tactics, it's a thinly veiled. It's not even a veiled message. To me, that's a threat. And that has no place in what we're doing here.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, for those of you guys that are not from New York City, Dominic Carter is not a Republican, right? He's a left of center TV and radio personality. Okay,
disgraced TV and radio personality.
Disgraced TV and radio personality in the People's Republic of New York City, right? So when I say left of center, I said that to say this: why is it acceptable not only for the veiled threats there, but why are the Democrats so against democracy? Why are they calling on Republicans to drop out of a race and support another Democrat, right? Since when is that democracy, right? There's only one party that is a true threat to democracy in this country, and it damn sure ain't the Republicans.
Yeah, Juju in the chat has been going off on this stuff. I think Sid Rosenberg on WABC, another radio talk show personality, said something similar, but more than that, Curtis Sliwa was on his show today, and he was saying the same thing. I'm not going to play the Sid Rosenberg clip because, frankly, I don't promote buffoons here. I mock buffoons. So we're going to mock Sid Rosenberg. The genius political mind, the political dynamo that is Sid Rosenberg, who couldn't hold down a job on WFAN, had to leave there in disgrace. Getting the theme here? Sid Rosenberg says to Curtis Sliwa, you've been on my show 10, 12, 13 minutes. You don't mention Mamdani. Why aren't you going after Mamdani? You're only going after Cuomo. What good is that going to do? Hey, moron, here's the good it's going to do. Do you think Mamdani's base of voters are ever going to leave him? Those are some hardcore, entrenched voters. The way that Curtis can win, the only way that Curtis can win, is to take votes from Cuomo and vice versa. That's the only way that Cuomo can win. That's why they're both talking about the other should be dropping out. Those voters are not as hardcore. There is no real loyalty to the accused sexual predator whose policies during COVID killed over 15,000 seniors and resulted in their deaths, their needless deaths. I know I said it before. I'm going to keep on saying it till it sinks in. There's no loyalty there. There's only the idea of who can I go to survive and beat Mamdani. That's not loyalty. So if Sliwa looks like he's doing better, they'll jump to him. There's no loyalty there. You freaking buffoon. So Kurt, go ahead.
Yeah, and let me throw some dirt on Sid Rosenberg too. Sid Rosenberg, not only did he get fired off WFAN, he got fired by Don Imus at one point, right? Because he used to not show up to work on time. Sid Rosenberg was very anti-Trump for a long time. And then after Bernie died and Sid Rosenberg got the job, all of a sudden Sid Rosenberg, to keep his job on morning radio in New York City, became a big Trump fan. Also, Gene, I used to listen to it all the time, by the way. I don't know if you remember this part of Sid's political genius career. He was a huge Eric Adams fan and used to hang out with him all the time and go to dinner and brag about it on the radio. So I don't give a damn what Sid Rosenberg thinks that Curtis Sliwa should do. And I'm not a huge Curtis Sliwa fan, but he's on the Republican ticket. He's running for mayor, and the Republicans should run somebody every cycle. There is no reason why our candidate should drop out of the race.
And on his show, Curtis Sliwa basically told Sid Rosenberg to go, stick it where, you know where to stick it. And then he pulled a Ross Galloway and just said, I quit.
You apologize. And I'm waiting for the apologies of my former friends and colleagues at WABC who said that I'm running a lazy campaign and that I'm selfish. That's why you will never see me there again at WABC.
He ain't going back, he says. Now, cooler heads may prevail later on. I mean, it seemed like John Catsimatidis was saying that, we'll talk to Curtis, later about this and whatever. Are you freaking kidding me? Politics is so disgusting and such an ugly business, and I'm so glad that you and I are out of this institutional political bubble and have been out of it for a good long while. Because you watch people in real time just sell their souls. They betray themselves. They betray their own values. Calling them buffoons is my way of fighting back because it's easier to point and mock them and to laugh at them and laugh at their stupidity than it is to express my real feelings about them, which is they're all pieces of shit. All of them. Doesn't matter what party affiliation, doesn't matter what they say they believe at any given time. They're all two-faced motherfuckers. Every one of them.
I agree, man. Everybody wanted Curtis Sliwa to run for mayor.
Wait, don't agree with me yet. Especially George Santos. Go ahead.
Everybody wanted Curtis Sliwa to run for mayor, especially on WABC, until a guy, because first of all, if you notice something, Gene, all of the people that are calling on Curtis Sliwa to drop out of the race are people with money, right? He said billionaires. I don't think Sid Rosenberg is a billionaire, but he's a millionaire. John Catsimatidis is a billionaire. Right? All the people with lots of money are calling on Curtis Sliwa to drop out because they will be hurt the most by a Zoran Mamdani. Now, working class people are definitely going to be hurt. I mean, without a doubt, all kinds of taxes are going to go up. Crime is going to go up. Absolutely. Right. But billionaires never care about that. They didn't care when Wilhelm de Blasio was in there. They don't care if Andrew Cuomo gets in there. He's going to do a lot of the same shit. They only care because there's a guy that's running as a socialist that will hurt very rich people now that looks like he's going to win. So they're going to get what they deserve. I'm looking forward to what happens to New York City. This is a great case study. And maybe, just maybe, the Democrats will take a look at what's going to happen there and change their ways. But I'm not going to hold my breath because I'm pretty sure they're not going to learn anything from this.
And, of course, we'll see next week what happens with this debate that's happening tonight. Maybe the needle will move. I sincerely doubt it. I think Mamdani's got this locked up. But we are way past halftime here. We went a long way. We went the long way around on this topic tonight, pal. So, keeping with the theme of the show, this show is sponsored by shop.buffoonoftheweek.com. Pick up your Cuomo for Jail t-shirt. There's also Cuomo for Jail stickers available if you don't want to wear it or you want to throw it on your laptop or whatever. This is what should happen in a right and just world. People would be voting their conscience, voting their values, voting in their best interest, and leaving Andrew Cuomo on the dumpster fire of history. Cuomo for jail. He's an accused sexual predator. I'm going to say it one more time, make it sink in. His policies during COVID directly led to the untimely passing of over 15,000 seniors. That's not me saying it, folks. That's a House Congressional Subcommittee who issued a report saying that Cuomo's policies in his executive order from March of 2020 was against CDC guidance. So you guys hate Dr. Fauci and all that. He even went further than Fauci. That's how bad Andrew Cuomo was during the pandemic. So go to shop.buffoonoftheweek.com. Use the QR code in the upper left-hand corner of the screen that you see right now above my head. Click on the link for shop.buffoonoftheweek.com. Check out the Cuomo for Jail t-shirt. And of course, as always, like the show wherever you're watching it. Subscribe to the channel that you're watching on, like it or whatever. Hit notification bells so you don't miss any other show. Yes, Juju, it is correct that Cuomo told Republicans to leave. Do you think I should play the clip one more time there?
Play it again for the folks.
All right, play it again for everybody who came late.
Their problem is not me and the Democrats. Their problem is themselves. Who are they? Are they these extreme conservatives who are right to life, pro-assault weapon, anti-gay? Is that who they are? Because if that's who they are, and if they are the extreme conservatives, they have no place in the state of New York.
Except now he wants your vote, and he's begging you for your vote. He's going on Fox News for your vote. By the way, screw you, Fox News. What the hell are you doing? Why are you giving airtime to this accused sexual predator whose policies during COVID caused the untimely demise of over 15,000 seniors? What are you doing? Giving airtime, giving any space to this irredeemable person. Oh, yes, Ross Galloway puts into the chat, Cuomosexuals. Did you see that woman, Emily Austin, who is debuting a podcast now? She wants to create a movement called Hot Girls for Cuomo. Nobody tell her. Nobody tell her what happened to Lindsey Boylan and to other people up in Albany. Nobody let her know about what happened with the year of the Cuomosexual. Nobody let her know about having to return the Emmy because his policies in that executive order from March of 2020. No one mentioned about the millions he had to return from his book deal. Don't tell her this. Let her sit in her own ignorance, just like the People's Republic of New York City are going to be sitting in their own mess after voting for Zohran Mamdani. And Democrats, you created this, and now you're going to have to live with it.
Yeah, and Gene, don't you find it like crazy that Dominic Carter is telling Curtis Sliwa to drop out so that he can protect his legacy and whatever else? Andrew Cuomo was like being trotted out there during COVID as a presidential candidate for the Democratic Party, like a future presidential candidate. And now he's going to get blown out. He got blown out in a primary already in New York City. And now he's going to get blown out in a general election where he's doing so bad that he's begging the Republican candidate to drop out. I mean, if anybody should drop out and disappear for a long time, it should be Andrew Cuomo and not Curtis Sliwa to protect whatever fucked up legacy he still has left.
Absolutely right. And you know, pal, we always said when we were actually winning races for Republicans in New York City, in Brooklyn, New York, of all places, we always said that we always overestimated Democrats because they would never have a real challenge in their life to be able to articulate why you should vote for them. I want to play this clip from the same Fox News interview. Fox News, I'm done with them too, where Cuomo tries to distinguish himself from Mamdani and why people should choose him over the socialists.
Look, he is a democratic socialist. And forget the word democratic. He's a socialist. And it's much different than the Democratic Party. And that's why it's a little confusing in this election. And this Democratic Socialist Party has really radical, extreme views. They believe in a socialist economy of Venezuela, Cuba. They're anti-police, defund the police, abolish jails, do away with misdemeanors.
Coming from the guy who did bail reform, right, Galloway? Talk about that.
Yeah, coming from the guy who instituted no cash bail in New York, with that in conjunction with COVID, led to the crime surge that New York is still suffering from. Andrew Cuomo literally created this environment, and he's going to solve it. It's not possible. This guy believes everything that the socialists believe. Almost every Democrat believes in everything that the socialist wing of their party believes. It's just that Mamdani and AOC and Bernie Sanders say it out loud. Cuomo hides it, right? He's no moderate. What is moderate about Andrew Cuomo? And it's a serious question, Gene. Play devil's advocate for a minute. Give me a moderate position by Andrew Cuomo that Andrew Cuomo holds. One.
Andrew Cuomo doesn't hold any positions. Andrew Cuomo gives lip service to the base that he is now reaping the whirlwind from. He doesn't have real positions. He just talks to the crowd, and now he's confronted with someone saying the same thing, except they're serious about it. They're serious about implementing it. So now Cuomo is stuck there doing the Cousin Vinny saying, "You were serious about that? Come on, man." Now this is the capitulation, the final capitulation of the left. The left was talking this socialist game for so long that now voters are saying put up or shut up in heavy blue areas like the People's Republic of New York City. Let's just finish out the clip.
They are really radical and extreme, and that's his base. So he doesn't want to offend the base because they're radical and they're highly disciplined and they won't tolerate any deviation. On the other hand, it's totally out of step with New Yorkers and mainstream New Yorkers.
What the hell is he talking about there? This is the base that you created. These are the mask maniacs that you created. These are the social justice warriors that had out in the street cheering on no cash bail. This is Frankenstein's monster coming back to unalive Dr. Frankenstein.
Right. Gee, not the mainstream New Yorker. Mamdani's running away with this thing. It obviously is the mainstream New Yorker. He's completely in line with them. Oh, and by the way, most people forgot this gem that Andrew Cuomo said. I should have said to have it ready for the show. Do you remember when Donald Trump was talking about make America great again? And Andrew Cuomo came out and said, well, America was really never that great to begin with.
Yes.
Okay, dude, like you are lockstep with the hard left. You don't think America was ever great. You don't think World War II, we landed on the moon. You don't think none of that stuff was great? We were never great?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for the clip right now to see if I can find it on the fly here. But that's the lip service that we were talking about. Let me see if this is it. Just give me one second.
And the hard left believes that too. America sucks and we're always to blame. So Cuomo's in line with Mamdani. He's just on Fox News trying to fool, low information Republicans to vote for him.
Yeah, I found the clip. I'm going to play it for the world to be reminded once again about this irredeemable buffoon, Andrew Cuomo, that now apparently can't win without Republicans and conservatives. Really? I believe this is the clip here. Let's see if I'm right.
We're not going to make America great again. It was never that great. We have not reached greatness. We will reach greatness when every American is fully engaged. We will reach greatness when discrimination and stereotyping against women, 51% of our population, is gone. We're not going to make America great again.
Enough of that bullshit. You know what? I think Zohran Mamdani took that seriously about America not being great. And that fueled his radical agenda. Why not, right?
Yeah. Isn't it ironic coming from a guy who's accused of sexual harassment, borderline sexual assault, doesn't have an issue with boys playing in girls' sports or going into girls' bathrooms, right? I've never heard him outspoken on any of those issues. Never.
Yeah. And by the way, we do need to start wrapping things up here, right? Because people got to get moving and shit. People got to get on with their nights. By the way, guys, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. You could have been anywhere tonight, yet you chose us. I'm trying to figure out why, but I appreciate it. Just to wrap this up, please remember, folks, everything that a person says before the word but means absolutely nothing. Because there are so many people out there that are saying to me on social media, well, Gene, I understand. I like I like Curtis Sliwa, and he's a great guy. I love what he stands for, but, and then goes on why Curtis Sliwa needs to step out of the race. Hypocrite, poser, rhino, whatever name you want to be known by, take your pick. If you're one of those people saying, I like Curtis, but, do me a favor, go look in the mirror, hate yourself, and then go to the Board of Elections and change your enrollment. Because you are everything that I hate about Republicans in the People's Republic of New York City. You are everything I hate about Republicans in New York State. You are the reason why New York is a one-party state. Because you are so willing and happy to compromise and say to people, you know what? This time, that abusive Democrat is going to recognize that he needs me, and I'm going to benefit by helping them out. This time will be the time where I'm important, and I can sway things, and things will go my way, and I'll be responsible for saving things. And then the day after Election Day, you're forgotten about. You're discounted. You're thrown to the shit pile of history again. Because New York Republicans do this all the time, especially in New York City. This time around will be different. Nope. Not until you start voting your values. Not until you start holding on to your convictions. Not until you say, you know what? I think I have to put this out there. I have to find it again. You know the quote from Captain America, the whole "no you move" thing? When the press is telling you that you need to change, and when the world is standing in against you, you need to put your feet down and say, no, you move. That's what has to happen here. Until Republicans in New York do that, until they, in the words of Ross Galloway, repent for their past transgressions, this cycle is going to continue. The cycle of abuse is going to continue. And now Ross Galloway can say, I told you so when it comes to Republicans cross-endorsing judges, right? Go ahead. I deserve it.
Yeah. And before we go into the final thoughts, I just want to put my final stamp on this topic. It's not up to Sliwa and the Republicans to help the Democrats out of this mess. I said that earlier. Where is Kathy Hochul, the current governor? She endorsed Mamdani. Where is Chuck Schumer? Where is Hakeem Jeffries? Where is AOC? Those are all powerful New Yorkers. If Mamdani is a real threat, it's not up to the outnumbered 5-1 Republicans to save the day here. It's up to the Democratic Party to have a come to Jesus moment and save themselves. And they refuse to do it, so fuck them.
I got to apologize to Coffee Grinder. He was ready to come on the show and talk about the White House remodel. It's a carport. It's an 80-year-old carport they're remodeling. Just stop. I will get you on next time, pal. I'm sure. I was riled up. I'm going to do my final thought first here, pal. And I'm going to quote that Captain America comic. And yes, it's crass. I'm crass and lowbrow, and I go to pop culture sometimes. But you know what? Politics is downstream from pop culture. So here's what I'm going to say, quoting the captain. Doesn't matter what the press says. Doesn't matter what the politicians or the mob say. Doesn't matter if the whole country decides that something wrong is something right. This nation was founded on one principle above all else: the requirement that we stand up for what we believe, no matter the odds or the consequences. When the mob and the press and the whole world tell you to move, your job is to plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and tell the whole world, no, you move. That's Curtis Sliwa this week, and I applaud him for it. You can agree with his stance on politics. You can disagree with him. But he's the only candidate out there saying, I'm here, these are my values, choose. And I salute him for that. I may not like him for his stance with Trump and things that we've talked about in the past here. You move, world. Curtis Sliwa ain't moving. And by the way, I need to disclose out there, back when I ran for city council in the People's Republic of New York in 2009, when I first met Mr. Ross Galloway, and I was dumb enough to run for city council, there were two people that endorsed me. One was arranged for me, and that was Mike Bloomberg, who had a vendetta going with my opponent at the time. And the other was Curtis Sliwa. Curtis Sliwa showed up at a fundraiser for me. Didn't know who the hell I was. We had a 10-minute conversation on the phone. Wanted to know what I stood for. Wanted to know what my values are. At the end of that conversation, he was like, okay, I'm showing up. And he showed up to a room of about 50 people for a breakfast fundraiser. He shook hands. He gave a great speech for someone he didn't even know, but for someone he believed was aligned with him. So you know what? I'm sticking by Curtis like he stuck by me. End of my rant. Go ahead, pal.
No, you're right. Curtis is always there for Republicans. I got two quick ones. One is obviously George Santos is free. Thank God. Donald Trump did the right thing there. Donald Trump does not believe, for political reasons, you should wind up in jail. And I know a lot of you might have a hard time believing this, especially if you're on the left side of the aisle. He also let Rod Blagojevich out of jail, right? Because he was set up by the Obama administration, and he's a Democrat, former governor of Illinois. And others will be too. I can guarantee you that if any of these people that have been recently indicted on the left, like the James Comeys of the world, I don't think Donald Trump will let them stay in jail. If they get jail time by the end of his term, he will probably commute their sentence or pardon them outright. I can almost guarantee that. Here's my real final thought, though. I just want to give George Santos that little hat.
Fraud. Stole money from Republicans.
With the government being shut down, right? Still, the longest total shutdown in American history. Previous records were for partial shutdowns. This is the longest shutdown, and it's the Democrats doing it. The Republicans and Trump need to really take advantage of this, and they started doing it. We have to cut spending since Congress failed to appropriate funds. The executive branch can absolutely cut spending at will pretty much now. They need to doge the budget, close lots of departments down permanently, fire lots of federal workers, and then eliminate the filibuster, reopen the fucking government, and ram our agenda down their fucking throats. That's what we need to do. Chuck Schumer gave us the chance. We need to take advantage of it and crush them and finish them off. If Zamdani or Mamdani, whatever the hell his name is going to win in New York, that is the direction of that party. We need to extinguish it now while we can.
You know, at the start of the year, I was dead set against ending the filibuster. You're slowly convincing me, Galloway. And by the way, I need to clarify. People are, Coffee Grinder asked, Ross didn't support you? What the hell? Two things. Ross was running a campaign in another district. And the second thing is we didn't really talk and meet and become friends until after the election season. So he certainly supported me as a Republican for getting out there and being the man in the arena and all of that. But it was after that where we got together and I had this idea of doing a little show. And after that, he saw, hey, I can ride this guy's coattails for a little while and maybe something can happen with me. And then it didn't. But whatever. We're friends now.
And I was wrong.
And he was wrong. I had no juice whatsoever. No juice. Anyways, folks, that's the end of the show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Again, you could have been anywhere tonight, but for some reason you were with us, and I'm trying to figure out why, but you guys are awesome. So until next week, it's time to shut this sucker down. Thanks for tuning into Behind Enemy Lines. I'm Gene. He's Ross. We used to be live from the People's Republic of New York City. Now we're not. Thank God. Burn it all down. Burn down that whole city. We are out of here. You ready to play the anthem, bro, or what?
Let's get the hell out of here.
Let's get the hell out, just like we did from the People's Republic of New York City. Play that fucking anthem.
Not allowed, not without electoral.
Go fuck yourself. Is that clear?
Don't let them have sway. Conservative battalions walking them out, marching through the streets while the buffoons all shout. Move in the shadows, flag on my chest, repping my clan, putting faith to the test. Cause we're playing blues behind enemy lines, fighting for the truth, feels like wartime. Don't back down, keep it rugged and raw, cool in the chaos, but loud in the war. But loud in the war. Thunder, arm in advance, march to the anthem, this is our chance. If I ever stare with a smirk in a gaze, holding down the fort in this Democrat cage. Whispers in the dark, strategies unfold, allies unseen, but bonds remain bold. Commitment to the cause in the heart of the storms, in the name of freedom we're breaking the norm. Cause we're staying blues behind enemy lines, fighting for the truth, feels like wartime. Don't back down, keep it rugged and raw. Feels like wartime, don't back down, keep it rugged and raw. Cool in the chaos, but loud